I watched Emilia Perez. I did it. It is it is one of the experiences that I've had. I mean, there were scenes in the movie. There were actors acting in the movie. There were cameras that were shooting the scenes, and there was songs in the movie, and it is indeed one of the experiences that I had really. But I mean, it's unrelated to the IMDb top 250 days that we're talking about. But I watched the movie and I thought I need to talk about it. And I mean, it's gonna win the Oscars, man. It's gonna win. It's gonna win every single Oscar out there. It's gonna win 13 Oscars. 13 Oscars for Emilia Perez. Deserves it, man. It's absolutely it absolutely deserves it. You know, if the Oscar was to give if the Oscar was for the movie with the most biggest tower of dog pile poo poo out there, that would Emilia Perez absolutely deserves the award. Now, this movie, I mean, this movie, this it's so if you look at like the genres of this movie, it says it's called comedy. It's really funny. It's really ridiculous at how bad this is. It's a musical. It's a musical as well. It's a crime movie. It's got thriller as well. It's a romance movie as well. It's got a lot of it. It's got every single genre just combined. And if I talk about from my professional experience as well, if one thing that if one quote that I live by is if something or someone does everything, then it doesn't really do anything. And this is exactly what Emilia Perez is doing. You know, it's not doing anything. Uh, the musicals, it's great musical. I don't remember a single fucking song out of this. All songs are terrible in the movie. Like, oh man, that is the songs are horrible, man. It's got a singer in the movie, but yes, Selena Gomez is the singer in the movie. Um, and you can't really tell that she's a singer, neither from her acting, nor from her singing. Uh, Especially from him singing. From acting, you can actually tell that she's a singer because she's definitely not an actor. Um, and Mexicans are pretty offended by Selena Gomez, especially because she has a terrible accent that even Mexicans cannot understand what she's saying. We can't understand it because I don't understand Spanish. They can understand it, even though they can understand Spanish. They can't understand the dialect and the language that Selena Gomez has invented. Um, and then there's this beautiful song in the movie, which is just crazy. It's a great song. It's about sex change, and the song goes something like, "It is a sex change, a man to woman, a woman to man, a penis to vagina." Brilliant writing, incredible writing, and I think the only actress savior that was in this whole movie was Zoe Saldana. I think she was the one who actually acted well. Funny enough, she was the one who was singing that terrible song that I just sang, in the exact monotone voice that I sang it in. And yeah, this is and then the musicals are bad. The musical as a musical, this movie is absolute piece of garbage. Like it's a stinking piece of garbage. It didn't need to be a musical, but it is because Hollywood likes musical, and well, that's why they made it. That's why they made the movie. And then let's talk about the story. The story, that's the one that matters. It's about a crime lord, and he hires this lawyer that she's the I wanna he's a terrible mafia boss. He's a cartel boss. He's done some crimes. He's killed a lot of people. He's done horrendous crimes, and now he wants to do a sex change. Now, if you look at it from the real world perspective, if I had to look at it from a real world perspective, no, he gives the reasoning that I always wanted to be a woman, so that's why I want to become a woman finally. If I look at it from a real world perspective, he just wants to be a woman because he wants to hide his identity and just get out from there. Like a specific German went to Argentina. Kind of like that. Kind of like that. So from a real world perspective, that's what I see. But in the whole movie, we are supposed to sympathize for this character. You're supposed to feel bad for him. And firstly, when he's a man, he's a terrible human being. But when he suddenly becomes a woman, and she's this, she's generous, and now she's trying to find the disappeared Mexicans who have been lost since so long. Which brings me to another point, because this movie has not one theme. It's just checking all the boxes. Hey, we should add in disappeared Mexicans. Hey, we should add in transgenders. Hey, we should add in lesbian romance. Hey, we should add in that. We should add in inclusive. It's checking all the boxes that you need for an Oscar movie, and it's gonna win an Oscar movie. It's gonna win it. And yeah, Emilia Perez. That's what the movie's about. And I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you the ending of the movie, because I do not want anyone to watch this movie. In the ending of the movie, well, Selena Gomez, she's the wife of Emilia Perez, former wife before he dies, and it's a fucked up thing. Okay, so she's got kidnapped. Selena Gomez kidnaps Emilia Perez because she wants the money. She wants the money and shit. And in the end, if I had to conclude it, they have a the car goes off the cliff and then they die. And this is the ending of the movie. Emilia Perez dies. This is what the writers came up with. This is what the best picture of the year is supposed to win at. And at the end of the movie, Emilia Perez, she's dead and all, and she's done so much for disappeared Mexicans that they make a statue of her, which makes me realize that what this movie is also trying to tell is that men can be better women than women. So if any woman wants to become a good woman, well, fuck you. Men are gonna be better than you at even this field. You know. You don't need to be natural at it. We're gonna find out a way. We're gonna find out a way. And so yeah, it's does it have any redeemable quality? This movie, it kind of told me about the disappeared Mexicans, which I can look into. I wasn't aware of that thing, which is weird. And I can understand why Mexicans are also kind of offended about how this guy who's helped in this disappearing Mexicans cases, and the crimes, the murders that are happening in Mexico, and the crimes that Mexico cartel has done. I mean, Pakistan is kind of a similar situation as well. You have so many disappearances cases, and imagine if Pakistan makes a movie in which it's talking about the disappeared Balochis in Pakistan and the people who are involved in doing that. I'm not going to tell. I can't tell who they are. But you can figure out who they are. Especially the Pakistanis can figure out who they are. And they say that guy, one of the people who are involved in this, has a sex thing, and now she's an incredible person. So that's what this movie is about. And boy, this is gonna win all the Oscars. This is of course, this piece of shit was obviously made by a Frenchman. Obviously French If of course another checkbox being filled, it's made by a French person, and French. Like, I don't get them. Like they're the biggest conmans out there. Like, come on, how can you make a movie like that? How can you make a piece of garbage like that? People are gonna, Hollywood elites are gonna love it. What the fuck is going on? Nobody likes this movie. I haven't heard a single review of it which is good, and it's not a good movie. It's not a good movie, and it kind of sucks that if this wins any Oscars, it's gonna become a representation of South American cinema because there's so many more movies that deserves that. If you want to talk about Mexican movies, Amores Perros is a great movie that you guys should just check out. That is a good representation of Mexican cinema. They've got great actors. Funny enough, the casting director also said that they didn't hire from Mexico because Mexicans don't have any good actors. Great to see. Great to see. Mexico do have really good actors. Amores Perros is a great movie. You guys should check it out. Aside from that, in South American cinema, City of God is a great movie. You guys should also check that out. In Argentina cinema, Wild Tales is a really funny movie, really comedic movie. Like, this movie is not gonna give you funny aside from the fact that you're gonna laugh at how bad this movie is. And then aside from that, there's Lives of Lives of Others, not Secrets in Their Eyes. That's also another Spanish movie, Argentine movie that is really good to see. South America makes really good movies, but it's unfortunate that this is gonna be a symbol of South American cinema when they make really good movies. And yeah, this is if this was in the IMDb top 250 list, this deserves a huge round of one in work. Hold on. This deserves a huge round of get out. That's what it deserves. I'm gonna give it more. This is what it deserves. And it's not the first time the Oscars has made a stinky movie like the pioneer of their Oscar stuff. They've Gone with the Wind is another example. A hugely acclaimed movie. The Help got a lot of Oscars, which I've also put it in the bottom of the list because they're terrible movies. And yeah, Oscar do have the habit of doing a stinky poopy. And this is one of those stinky poopies. And so yeah, and I think another reason why they're doing it is because they want to give a message to Trump. He's cutting off like he's saying that there's only two genders, and so they want to give him a message that hey, you're forgetting 80 other genders. You should think about that. And that's their big concern. That's the big concern. I mean, Trump is a piece of shit as well. I mean, what he's saying about Gaza is he's a piece of shit as well. Everyone in America is a piece of shit, to be honest. Let's continue with the rest of the movies. Let's go. Emilia Perez. I've yapped a lot about it. I probably recorded for a video as well. But let's go with the rest of the movies. Right, let's begin. Right, first one with that pure rating today is Barry Lyndon. It's a historical kind of a movie by Stanley Kubrick. It's basically about this British guy who's kind of like who's not the most richest British person, and he's a kind of con man, and he wants to be in the elite British people, just like the director of Emilia Perez. He wants to be up there with the people, and for that he marries British. He marries some woman, some rich woman, to get over wealth, and so it's about this journey of this guy. The first half of this movie is pretty interesting. as he's going through the journey of trying to be uh, this rich kind of a guy. But you know second half kind of gets boring, gets a bit slow. So if you compare it with the rest of the Kubrick filmography, I don't think this highly rates as a great movie. I think this is probably one of the weakest ones. So that's why I think we're gonna put this one in the I mean it's alright category.
I mean, it's alright, like.
Next up is The Elephant Man. Now, obviously, this is funny enough, and a lot of people might dislike me for it. Is that this is the only David Lynch movie that I watched, and it sucks that I really want to watch other of his movies as well. I'm looking forward to watch like Mulholland Drive and stuff like Twin Peaks as well. But this is the only David Lynch movie that I watched, and it's a great movie, to be honest. First of all, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Hopkins, so that really helps. And then this story of basically the story of I don't remember what the name of the character is, but there's a real person who had this physical disfigurement on him, and because of that he wasn't like the rest of the people, the rest of the humans, and so he's in 1800s someplace. It's pretty tragic kind of a movie. That this guy who's like pretty young, he just wants to be like other people, but he can't because of how he looks like, and it's a pretty tragic movie. Yeah, I mean I kind of almost cried of that movie, and so that's why this is going in a hood classic. This is one of the best movies out there. So Elephant Man is going into certified hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
We mutually agree that this is the worst stream series on this channel. I agree. Mutually hit hit it in the comments if you think this is the worst stream series in this channel. Next up is what are we doing? Christopher Columbus is here. No fucking way. Christopher Columbus, go find another country. But we're tier ranking IMDb top 50 movies. Next up is Inglourious Basterds, Quentin Tarantino classic. He's got a lot of stuff going on. It's got a lot of stuff going on here. Inglourious Basterds, Tarantino movie. It's about a bunch of Jewish guys in America who want to kill Hitler, and so does another French woman who also wants to kill Hitler. And it's got some really good. The performances in this movie is great, especially with Christoph Waltz. He does a tremendous job. Like his acting is top notch. And aside from that, that scene of the 3-1, the 3-1 is pretty good. 3-1 is pretty good, which kind of let me know about like Germans have a different 3. And so yeah, Inglourious Basterds, yeah. I mean, it's not bad. It's not a bad movie. It's a pretty good movie. I'm gonna put it in the hood classic, especially the final scene was pretty good. They killed they obviously kill Hitler in it as well, which makes the movie a hood classic. So we're putting it in Hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
Oiling up is which tier? I mean, we're gonna put oiling up. We'll put oiling up somewhere. Next up is the Bombi guy. The guy who now have become Barbie world. Now have become a Barbie in a Barbie world. Well, very best movie. Obviously, we've got Oppenheimer butt naked in the film. That was an interesting scene, and yeah, there's this really good scene in the movie where he's just sitting in like the like he's getting his hearing. He's sitting in the hearing and he's like butt naked because his wife is imagining him having sex with another woman. He's doing stuff in it. He's doing stuff in it. So Oppenheimer, it goes hard. It goes hard. Pretty good movie. I watched this in cinema with Barbie. I did the Barbie Hammer thing, so that was a pretty good experience. Uh, this is this is going in the hood classic category. This is going in the hood classic category. Pretty solid Nolan movie, one of the best ones. Which reminds me that one of the criticism that kind of Nolan gets is that he gives zero breathing room for his characters to grow and for people to have like a breathing room, to audience to have a breathing room. Just keeps going on the next thing and next thing. And so the people who say that the criticism that he gets from a lot of people, they are gonna love Emilia Perez because that movie gets zero breathing room. It just goes from scene to scene. No, sorry, not scene to scene, scene to song, song to scene. And funny enough, you move the songs, you might probably like the movie, but the songs are horrendous. Whole Oppenheimer has got to be
This
in.
is a certified hood classic.
It's a hood classic. It's a hood classic. Next up is Ben-Hur. That's a pretty long movie. It's a pretty Christian movie. Out there, yeah, there's obviously a cameo from Jesus as well. For some reason, he's also there. Um, Ben-Hur is about a Jewish guy in the same timeline as Jesus, and he's basically taken up by the Roman soldiers for false charges of treason. So basically, he comes back to take revenge from the guy who put him into there. Kind of, you can feel like Gladiator did take some stuff from this movie. But yeah, I think Gladiator was definitely inspired by this. It is a nice movie. It's a nice movie. Goes hard. I think visually it's pretty solid. It's a pretty solid movie, and yeah, we're putting it in a nice category. I think this one got. I think this one also has a record for like the most Oscar wins, I guess, alongside Lord of the Rings. This is going into the nice. Next up is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I'm not a huge fan of romantic movies because I'm bitchless, of course, and because of being bitchless, I've nothing to relate to those movies. But Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, that is pretty innovative. It's it's basically you got two characters, Jim Carrey and Kate Winslet, and basically Kate Winslet character they have this huge breakup due to which Kate Winslet does his operation, and which gets her which gets her kind of which makes her remove her memories, remove all the memories of their relationship. So Jim Carrey says, "Fuck that! I'm doing the same," and he does the same operation and goes through it. And between that, he's going through all the memories between them, and it's a pretty emotional movie. Jim Carrey, man, he did a tremendous job. Like, you see this guy as this in every single movie, Ace Ventura, or The Mask, or any other movie that he's in. He's this eccentric type of guy who's just full of energy, and this is where he is completely different. He's completely like down type of depressed kind of a guy. He's wearing like cold clothes and as well, and he does a tremendous job. Like, you, at first you're seeing Jim Carrey, but by the end of the movie you're seeing a different person. You're not seeing Jim Carrey anymore. And funny enough, I can't really remember the character's name, and I was calling him Jim Carrey, so I don't think that really worked. But yeah, this one is going into, I would put it in, it's pretty close to I'm about to come, but I'm putting it to hood classic. It is a hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
I think this is one of the really, really good romantic movies out there. Next up is For a Few Dollars More. Okay, so For a Few Dollars More, it's the second of the trilogy of the Dollars trilogy, which is A Fistful of Dollars, For a Few Dollars More, and the iconic The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. And I don't really remember much about what happens in this movie. Uh, if I had to rank the Dollars trilogy, I would put The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly the first. Fistful of Dollars at second, and this one would be at third. This one is probably in the weakest of the trilogy. It's also it's also full of the Western stuff, full of standoffs, and of course my age-old criticism of Sergio Leone that he kind of drags stuff, and this one is a bit of that as well. I think I'll go to. I mean, it's all right. It's an all right movie. Putting it in. Where the fuck did it go? Hold up, guys. Let me fix it up. Let me fix up. Okay, it's supposed to be over. Interesting. Why is it doing that? Hold on, guys. I'm doing stuff. Why is it not showing up? Supposed to hug. This is also supposed to hug. What the fuck is going on? Mirror Smoke is pissed off. Mirror Smoke is pissed off. Yeah, it's a good movie. You can say all you want. It's a good movie. What the fuck is going on? I'm so confused. wasn't doing anything. Alright, we back. We back. So for a few dollars more,
I mean, it's alright. Like,
it's an alright movie. Next up is The Usual Suspect. Now this movie, okay, so hold on, let me zoom it up. All right. Okay, so this movie, a friend of mine suggested me this movie a lot. He thinks it's one of the greatest movies of all time, and I watched it, and then I told him this is a stinky poopy movie, and he didn't like that. So he stabbed me in my chest multiple times, 28 times to be exact. I survived that, but I'm just kidding. He's not British. But Usual Suspects is it's a stinky poopy movie. It's so fucking boring. It's basically relying, the whole movie is relying on its plot twist. The whole movie is relying on that plot twist, and that plot twist needs to deliver. But that plot twist is so bad itself. It's so predictable that you don't give a shit about it by the end of the movie. Like, yeah, the Kevin Spacey guy is like, his case is so he's Doctor House. He's walking with a cane. He's Doctor House. He's like, let's try the medicine drug. He's like that. But it's, except the medicine drug, he likes 15-year-old boys. It's like, he kind of looks like Kareem Benzema, doesn't he? He behaves like him as well. But yeah, this is probably the most overrated movie that I've watched. And you see so many analysis of this movie, but this is a stinking poopy garbage. This is stinky poopy garbage. Yeah, this is trying not to spoil the movie. I'm trying my best. I don't want any human to watch this movie, to be honest. I can't recommend this to you. Let's put this into a stinky poopy category. Usual Suspects is a stinky poopy movie though. Oh, I did. Fuck. Who cares? I don't want you guys to watch this movie. It's a stinky poopy movie. I don't remember what his other name was in the movie. I'm making it worse by commenting. Everyone is gonna know it. Next up is The Lives of Others. It's a German movie. It's based in the time when there were two Germanys, West Germany, East Germany, in the 80s, 70s or 80s. I'm not exactly sure. And basically, it's about this FBI agent. He's kind of like an FBI agent. And he's supposed to spy on this writer. No, not writer. He's an actor or an artist. I'm not sure. But he's one of them. And as he's spying them, he kind of gets interested in their personal life and stuff. So yeah, it's a decent movie. Like, it's an alright movie. I'll put it in. I mean, it's alright.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
Dog, it didn't show your fit. Which fit? That's not a fit, man. That's a fit I'm wearing. And hello to you're not Shit Bots. Your new name is Shit Stains. That's the name, Shit Stains. Because shit stands and stains. It's funny. Please laugh. How's Joker in the Hood classic? It's a society movie. Society movie are good. Actually, amateur taxi driver. Hold on. I actually once wrote a script for its sequel. Okay, and I wish they made that one instead of the one they fucking made. Let me pull it out. Let me pull that one out, and I'm gonna read it to you guys. The script. Um, Hold on. Let me find it. It's a bit old. It's a time when Joker came out. It's like 6 years old, but they should have gone with that script, man. Let me find it. Let me find that script that I wrote. It's not a complete script, It's kind of just like a plot, but it's a much better plot than what they made. Okay, so I'm gonna read it. I found it. Okay, so Joker was heavily inspired by two Martin Scorsese movies, Taxi Driver and The King of Comedy. So the sequel should have been like this. So Arthur Fleck becomes Joker, who is Gotham's crime lord. Drug trafficking, human trafficking, murder, you name it. He's done it all. He has good links with Carmine Falcone and, of course, Bruce Wayne. In fact, Bruce is his best friend in the whole mafia stuff. They can't live without each other, and they both support each other. Bruce is the good guy in front of the media, and Joker is the bad guy. He's kind of like it's kind of like the boys. I think the boys kind of was inspired by me. So, anyways, Joker is the bad guy, and Bruce is controlling Wayne Enterprises from the outside, which is indeed just a dummy company to hide all the black money. And Joker is actually the guy controlling Wayne Enterprises from behind. And Joker and Bruce, they keep getting bigger, and Joker starts becoming more and more cocky. Eventually, his grace starts falling. Both of them actually. People around him start getting killed or arrested, except Bruce. So finally, Joker gets caught by FBI, and he gets the opportunity to clear his name. He takes it and snitches out, testifying in front of court about Bruce's links with Falcone and all the mafia shit. Bruce gets arrested and dies in prison. Joker's name is now Jack Napier and goes to Italy, where he dates Alfred in a cafe every day. Eventually, in his last days, Jack writes a biased autobiographical on which Martin Scorsese makes a movie. The end. This is the movie they should have made. This is absolute cinema. This is the movie they should have made, man. If they wanted to, if they wanted to kind of go for Scorsese copy, they should have gone with that. Who wrote the script? I wrote the script, man. I cooked it 6 years ago. I should have sent that to Todd Phillips. Instead, he made terrible Joker failure Dukes, which, to be honest, it was an Oscar bait. They should have taken the bait over Emilia Perez. It probably might have been better than Emilia Perez anyway. But anyways, next up is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. The one with the canon event. This is the one with the canon event. This is the one with the canon event, and Bro can only make copies as a match. It was a fluke. To be honest, Joker was a fluke. He made Hangover once, and then he made sequels of that, and those didn't cook. And so he had a fluke. But Joker was pretty good as well. Gotta admit it. The Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. It's got the canon event. Canon events, very important. And this one was pretty good. Honestly, I think in a lot of recent Marvel movies that have came out, this one is pretty much stands out. And the animation is great. The whole animation that they've got going on in the Spider-Verse is pretty fucking amazing. Miles Morales animation especially. This one is going into It's one of the best comic book movies out there. So that's why this is going into a hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
Next up is was yeah for real, for real. Next up is Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. This is the one where he kills Nazis, which is pretty much every single Indiana Jones movie. Uh, in this one, he gets, I think in this one he gets pretty close to Hitler as well. Was it Raiders of the Lost Ark? I think it was this one. But he's trying to find his father, who was also trying to find something, and now he's trying to find him. So this one is it's a nice movie. I think it's a nice movie. We'll put it in nice category. Chucky, by your opinion, his ass. Anyway, next up is The Third Man. Now this is not directed by Orson Welles. I guess that's his name. Orson Welles is the guy who directed and acted in Citizen Kane. This one is not directed by him, but he's one of the actors in the movie. This one is pretty good. It's basically about this guy who this post World War movie, and so there's about guy who hears that one of his friends uh, has died. One of his friends in Poland has died, so he goes to over there to kind of see what's up and to get to know him. And as he's trying to as he's trying to figure out what's going on, he finds that there's something sussy going on. So now he's investigating into all of that stuff. So this is a pretty good movie. And one thing I noticed about this movie is that it's got a SpongeBob theme song. I'm not even joking. I'm actually gonna play this theme song of this movie, and you guys are gonna tell me if this is not SpongeBob. Is this SpongeBob or the Third Man movie music? Hold on, let me just play it. Let me just play it. Third Man theme. Can you guys hear it? You guys hear that? I'm probably gonna get copyright claimed now, so I'm gonna stop this one. But this is a SpongeBob theme song. And this was so off-putting in the whole movie that they're playing the SpongeBob theme song in a suspense movie, and SpongeBob didn't exist when this movie came out. It's like a 1949 movie, but you know, it's kind of funny. The SpongeBob kind of, I think, SpongeBob kind of stole this one. But this is a pretty good movie though. We're gonna put it in the hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
Next up is The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense. It's for people with uh, high with people who have got sixth mind, who've got like a massive brain cell to decode the movie. I mean, the plot twist is pretty much kind of predictable, especially considering maybe because this movie is so popular and now that everyone knows what happens. But it's still got a bit of a predictable plot twist. But it's a decent movie. The whole thing that he's a psychiatrist and he is helping this child who got some issues, who got some mental issues, and he's trying to help him. And this is what the movie is about. And it's a decent movie. We'll put it in. I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's alright, like.
Next up is 2001 Space Odyssey. All right, 2001 A Space Odyssey. So yeah, this one is a Stanley Kubrick movie, and visually this movie is amazing. I think it's a 1968 movie, and for its time, it's brilliant. Especially considering that this is the one. This is the set that they also use for moon landing. Um, but this is a great. This is a great movie. Soundtrack is amazing. It's got iconic scenes in it. The soundtrack, especially considering that some of the soundtracks that eerie music, the Monolith theme song, I use that in my memes a lot of times. So it's that iconic. Even the intro of that movie, I'm putting it in this stream's intros as well. In that sense, it's an iconic movie. You can see the inspiration that is given to movies like Star Wars or even Interstellar, and it was pretty. I think it was pretty much accurate about what happens about 2001. It kind of missed one of the things about 2001. Um, it didn't talk too much about some towers. I think he might not have that much of a foreshadowing, but it was pretty close. This movie was pretty close with the realistic state of the 2001 statement. So visually, this movie is great. Scenes of this are great to watch. But what this movie lacks is a story. Is a story indeed. Uh, like there's 60 to 70% of the movie does not have any dialogue. It's just you gotta figure it out from the visual speaking. And I think I get it from, I guess, an artistic point of view that maybe he was making an artistic statement. And even the ending, Kubrick himself states that you need to interpret it by your own. What do you think of this? And when somebody says that you need to interpret by your own, uh, that means they didn't have anything in mind. So, Space Odyssey, visually brilliant movie, iconic movie, and the impact that this had, technologically brilliant. Soundtrack is amazing, but the story wise, it's just not that good. It's not that good. It kind of makes itself a bit too confusing, you know. So yeah, I think I've put it in. I mean, it's all right. It's the same issue with Dune as well. Dune has the same issue. Beautiful movie, brilliant, technologically amazing, but it lacks story. So this one is going in. I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's alright, like.
Next up is I think it's The Grapes of Wrath. So this is a 1940 movie. It's with John Ford, and it's about this guy who comes who's been into prison for a long time, and he finally gets a bail. Comes back to his home, but when he gets to home, he finds out that his family is not here, and then he's told that they had to evacuate because the farms are not working. The farms, they're not growing anything, and some rich people are kind of trying to take over. So there's the time of the Great Depression, and now he has to take his whole family, and the whole family has to kind of go to California to find a job and stuff. So it's around the Great Depression, and it kind of sucks that a lot of the plot points that this movie has, that how they all have to travel to California to get a job, and it's still kind of relatable because we're still into that zone of uh, zone of the world where we're going through this Great Depression era. Just starting from 2020, job market hasn't been that great. So The Grapes of Wrath is it's a nice movie. It's a good movie. I think it's worthwhile watching. So we're putting it in nice. Next up is, speaking of family dramas. Next up is Warrior. Warrior. Of course, on the poster we got two naked guys, Tom Hardy, and yeah, the most unrealistic kind of shit about this movie was that Tom Hardy kind of, okay, I'll spoil the movie if I say that. I don't want to spoil the movie. Okay, but it's about two brothers who compete, and it's about two brothers who've got daddy issues, and they compete with and they were going into an MMA tournament. So, and they both got different issues. They both coming off from different kind of background. One of them is an ex-military guy, and the other one is a teacher. And they're both coming off that. Both have different reasons to go into this MMA tournament, and now they're both in the tournament, and they don't realize that then it's the final, and they both gotta fight each other then. And bonus point for having Kurt Angle in the movie, which is actually the peak angle, because this movie is from 2010 and we had the peak angle at that time. So bonus points for Kurt Angle being in the movie. However, he did get his ass beaten up by a teacher, which is kind of fake. But it's a nice, it's I'm a bit confused if I want to put it into, I mean, it's all right or nice. Um, where do we put this one? I think I'll put it in. I mean, it's all right. It's a decent movie. It's a bit too safe. It's playing a lot on sports cliches.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
So speaking of sports cliches, next up is Million Dollar Baby. Bro, how is Six Sense on? It's an alright movie, man. It's an alright movie. It's not that good. Come on. Next up is Million Dollar Baby. Arguably the best plot twist in cinema history. Nah, it was pretty predictable. It was pretty predictable. So $1 million Baby. It's it's about another woman who wants to become a boxer, but Clint Eastwood is like, "Fuck you! You shouldn't be a boxer because you're a woman, and I don't train women." And Morgan Freeman is like, "Well, you gotta train her because she's a nice woman, and well, she should be a boxer." And that's what the movie's about. That's what the movie's about. It's a nice movie. I think again, it's sports movies are kind of like very much cliched, and this one kind of has the same cliches as well. So yeah, I think just like Warrior, it's a better movie than Warrior, but it still has cliches in it. So I might have to put this into nice category. It's a nice movie, but we're going to a 7 to 8 category here. It could be there, it could be there. Next up is the 1974 movie, which is One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. It's featuring Jack Nicholson, and just like any other movie of Jack Nicholson, he's a psycho in this movie. But in this one, he is not exactly a psycho. He's in the prison, and he just pretends to be psycho to get away from the prison and to go into a mental hospital until he sees that there's a terrible nurse in there who fucks up your mind. It's a pretty good movie, honestly. The whole journey is the whole movie is a pretty good experience. Like overall, it's a solid movie. So we're gonna be putting it as a hood classic category.
This is a certified hood classic.
Next up is, well, well, this my name is Down Plainview, and this is my son. Uh, this is my son. What's his name? HW. This is my son HW. This is my partner in crime, and we will drink your milkshake. And this was me impersonating Bill Hader's impersonation of Daniel Day Lewis playing Daniel Plainview. It's a good movie. The performance by Daniel Day Lewis is fucking crazy. He does a great job. He does a great job in this movie, and HW is pretty good as well. And of course, Paul Dano in the movie. If you see Paul Dano in the movie, you know he's gonna get his ass beaten up every fucking time, and that's what happens. He gets his ass beaten up in this movie as well. Um, I guess in two sequences. At first, I was a bit confused in this movie that I didn't know that he's playing two characters, and so I was a bit confused. Like, what is going on? Like, he doesn't know that he's that guy until I realized they're both twins, and they're two different people. So that was a bra moment. But it's a nice movie. Mm, gets a bit boring at some points. So if I had to compare, it came out in the same year as No Country for Old Men. If I had to choose, I'll choose No Country for Old Men. But for an acting, Daniel Day Lewis was exceptional in this movie. So where we putting it? We're putting in nice category. It's one of the best movies of 2000s, definitely. Next up is Rocky. Okay, so Rocky is another boxing movie. We're seeing a lot of sports movies all together. Rocky is, of course, one of the most, or probably the most iconic boxing movie out there. Um, and in a movie, there's probably two boxing fights maximum. I think. To be honest, there's a maximum two boxing fights in the whole movie, and mostly what it's hyping up is to the big boxing match. He's an underdog, Rocky, and he gets a match from another bigger boxer, and he has to fight him to prove himself. And he's also dating another woman who's not that good looking, but he's a good guy. Um, I mean, it's an alright movie. I think I had more expectations from this movie, given it's such a huge movie, and it didn't deliver it that much. I haven't seen the rest of the Rocky movies though, so I think I should have to watch maybe Rocky 2, because I've heard good stuff about Rocky 2 as well. But this one is going into all right category.
I mean, it's all right. Like,
I'm not a huge fan of sports dramas. Not a huge fan of them. Next up, the greatest one of the greatest movies of all time. I think there's no shame in saying that this is by far one of the greatest movies of all time. Of course, I'm talking about Inside Out. I'm talking about Inside Out. I've read a review of it, which I would like to read to you guys as well, because this shows my feelings about this movie as well. So it's been nearly a year since I first saw this film. I would say I had a pretty low knowledge in films before I first saw Inside Out. Not to say that I'm highly intelligent of films now. I only saw about 200 films prior. I hadn't seen a lot of classic films or even know that film can be an art form just through its camera work, among other aspects. So you could say that I can't speak for everyone on my views of this film. And you may be right, because opinions are subjective anyway. This is my favorite film ever. Like I said above, like I didn't see a lot of films that were deemed as masterpieces at that time. While I still have a lot more to see, I can see that I've caught up with many notable ones now. I've seen The Godfather, I've seen 2001: A Space Odyssey, I've seen Casablanca, I've seen The Shawshank Redemption, I've seen Pulp Fiction, I've seen Lawrence of Arabia. Yet this is still my favorite film of all time. 8 years from now, this won't change. I felt something extraordinary that will never be felt again. This to me was a revelation. In honest words, I've never experienced something like this before. Only because of Inside Out, I was able to kick myself off of a serious depression I had for years, understand the meaning of feeling, feel sympathy to why people act the way they do, be interested in films. In fact, I went and watched the films I mentioned above because of Inside Out. Ever since that late July of 2015, I have been compulsively obsessed with Inside Out to the point where I checked its Oscar chances, IMDB rating, Rotten Tomatoes rating, Letterboxd rating, and box office grosses, to the point where I felt like I had to stop myself from doing, as when seeing anything negative about it just makes me feel let down and quite sad about it. It's still something that I'm trying to quit, but obviously it's not going that well. That is this review after 1 year of the film's release. Inside Out taught me more about depression, empathy, importance of sorrow, and interpersonal relationship than any other books, talk shows, real life stories, or cat posters could ever dream of. It made me want to become a filmmaker because of its. If this much craft and intelligence can be put in a film, then sign me up to the industry, because I want to be a part of it. I don't want to talk about the story or the technical aspects of Inside Out because everyone has talked about it already. In the course of less than 10 months, I've seen this film 6 times. That's more than any other film during the same period. It's a true testament to its strength and impact on me that's hardly ever going to fade away. I know this isn't the case for everybody. I keep trying to find anybody else who had the same experiences that I did walking out of this film for the first time. I yielded on little results, and all this it brings me down a little since I don't really have anyone else to relate to. I keep telling myself that no matter what happens to Inside Out in the future, whether it's Rotten Tomato score or IMDb rating or its overall stature among the general public, whether it gets worse or better for it, this will always be my favorite films of all time. Nothing will change that. And I have to let go of everybody else's opinion, whether or not they had similar emotional experiences towards it. You can vote not helpful on this review all you want, which seems to be a recurring case for all positive user reviews here. I wonder why. But it's not going to matter anyway. This is a beautiful film that will resonate in me always. I will never forget Inside Out. In summary, it's going into fart category. Yeah, alright, let's go. Next up is Dune Part 2. Shit, bro, what is your opinion on Shrek? It is the greatest movie of all time, Dune Part 2. Dune. Talk to a podcaster. Wait, I heard Talk to a is back. I was missing her. Talk to a is finally back. She scammed all the people and now she's back. She's back from the hiding. This is the greatest day of my life. Talk to her is back. Let's go. This will be a day remembered by everyone. This should be a public holiday because Talk to a podcast is back. Let's go. Let's fucking go. We should be watching Talk to a podcast instead of this shitty stream that you guys are watching. Talk to a podcast, the greatest podcast ever. I mean, if I had to put Talk to a podcast somewhere, I would put it at the top because it's that good. Inspector, when are you going to Talk to a podcast episode tier list? All of them are just like top tier, man. I can't choose between them. It's too difficult. It's too difficult to rank Talk to a podcast because they're all on the top level. It's just so difficult. So anyways, Dune Part 2. The recent one. This is the one that came this year. And I saw Part 1, I guess, in a plane. I was on a flight from Pakistan to Malaysia. It was a 6 hours flight. So watched Dune Part 1. And that was a decent movie. The same criticism that I have for Dune Part 1 is my same criticism that I have for Dune Part 2. Which is visually, it's a great movie. And sound design, holy fucking shit. I have not heard a better sound design in any movie than Dune. Like, wearing these headphones and, having that surround sound and having those, sandworms sound effects that you use. It was brilliant. It was an incredible experience. But here's the thing about those things that I'm talking about, the visuals and the sound. It's just like graphics in a video game. It's good for like the first 1 or 2 playthroughs, but then it's the story that is gonna keep you hooked up. And similarly with Dune, it's gonna get you interested in the movie. It'll gain your curiosity, but it'll not capitalize on that curiosity. Like for the first 15, 20, 30 minutes, you'll be amazed by that visuals, by that sound that the movie has. But then, it's like I watched the first one on plane. I watched the second one with these headphones in my home with a TV with surround sound. I watched the second one in home. I I'm talking about the second one. This is the second one, by the way. I'm rating the second one. Um, the story is not that interesting. It's especially if you consider the whole two movies. I mean, you could kind of make the two movie story into one movie because it goes pretty slow. And I want the old Dennis Villeneuve back, man. I want the Incendies Villeneuve back. I want the Prisoners one back. I mean, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it. Like I'm putting it. I mean, it's all right. I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's alright.
Like the story, it's getting a lot of attention in this Oscars film race as well. That this should be ahead of Emilia Perez, and I will agree with that. I think if Emilia Perez has 13 Oscar nominations, they should be getting 26. Even though I'm putting in the all right category, they should be getting 26 categories. If Emilia Perez has 13, because that was a dog poop of a movie, and I've given the review of it in the start of the stream of Emilia Perez. I'll probably be, you know, cutting it out into a full video as well, because yes, I'm moist critical now. Anyways, next up is Dune, 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 Dune. God, Batman Begins, the first one of the trilogy. I mean, I'll just put it in the list, and we'll talk about it. This is a hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
I mean, it's part of the greatest trilogy of all time, and that movie goes hard. That movie goes hard. Cillian Murphy does a pretty good job, and then we got a pretty good. I wouldn't want to spoil the movie, but it got some pretty good spoiler stuff. And Batman Begins, man, that shit goes hard. That shit goes hard. You see the Batman going into the cave, well, falling into the cave actually, and then rising up with the Batman. You see his parents dying. Don't say that I'm spoiling. His parents die in every fucking movie. It's like Uncle Ben dying, so I'm not spoiling anything when I say his parents die. He's an orphan. Everyone knows that. But that is a solid movie. That is a solid movie. It's definitely a hood classic. And yeah, let's go. Let's go. I don't need to talk much about this movie because everybody knows how good this is. Next up is The Father. This one is, in my opinion, it is the best movie of this decade, of the current decade, 2020s. There hasn't been a better movie than this so far. Anthony Hopkins, he's playing a dementia-ridden old guy, and the the best part about this, and he does a tremendous job at it. He's amazing. I mean, Anthony Hopkins, he's a brilliant actor, and the best thing about the way this movie is made, that the audience in themselves feel like they're suffering from dementia or something, because you don't know what the fuck is real, you don't know what is going on, and this movie does exactly that. One of the best, I think definitely the best movie of this decade, and would definitely recommend to watch this movie. However, it would scar you. This movie has the capability to scar. It's one of those movies like Grave of the Fireflies or Requiem for a Dream or Come and See. It's got that type of view in it. So The Father it's a brilliant movie. Definitely would recommend you guys to watch it. This is going in a hood classic category.
This is a certified hood classic.
Next up is American Beauty. It's about so this is a movie about it's got Kevin Spacey in the lead role, and he's married, he's got a daughter, and he's kind of depressed because his wife doesn't love him and his daughter doesn't give a shit about him. So he sees his daughter's friend, and he gets a bit his cock gets a bit tingy. His penis, the blood rushes into his penis, and he really likes the teenager kid. And wait, is this a movie or documentary? Because Kevin Spacey. Oh no, it's a movie. Kevin Spacey likes teenager boys, not girls. But yeah, it's a decent movie. It's got some comedy elements in it. I think it sits between I mean, it's all right and nice. Uh, but we'll put it somewhere. I mean, it's all right.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
Very haram poster though.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
Why am I doing this? Yo, bro. Yo, Paradox. Next up is the Star Wars, the first one in the movie. Princess Leia kind of looking freaky in the poster. Never realized that. But Star Wars is the first one. Star Wars: A New Hope. In my opinion, the best one is Revenge of the Sith. But this is a respectable movie as well. This is the beginning. This kind of made the whole franchise, and it's a nice movie. It's a nice movie. It's not the best Star Wars, but it's a good movie. It's basically about Princess Leia. She gets kidnapped. She's a princess. And now Luke Skywalker. He's just a boy, an orphan boy who gets his parents are dead, and he's living with his uncle and stuff. He's like Spider Man or something, and he finds out Obi-Wan Kenobi, who's living in a cave, and yeah, from there, Obi-Wan Kenobi takes him to Darth Vader. Hey, you gotta defeat Darth Vader. I know you've never done that, but I'm taking you for that. And it's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's a solid movie. So we're putting in the nice category. And yeah, Revenge of the Sith is great. I think it's one of the best. It is probably the best Star Wars movie. It just gets a lot of shit because of the shit trilogy it is in. The If it was in a better trilogy, then people would have liked it. But yeah, it just sucks that it's in a bad trilogy. Hold on. Next up is Life is Beautiful, which is an Italian movie by Roberto Baggio, or I don't know which one it is. And it's about a Jewish father and his family, and he basically gets sent to the concentration camp, and now he's in the concentration camp and he's with his child, and so he has to pretend to his child that everything is okay, and we're just on a vacation, and he's just trying to he's just trying to make it much more digestible to the kid about what's going on. It is a pretty fucking sad movie. You know, it's a pretty fucking sad movie. This is doesn't sound much beautiful. It isn't much beautiful. It's definitely in a hood classic category. Like it's definitely I put it in the hood classic category.
This is a certified hood classic.
You know, one of the I think in Holocaust movies, I think this is the best one. I would rate this one over Schindler's List. Uh, but yeah, next up is the original Blade Runner. Okay, so here's what my problem with this movie is. The movie is called Blade Runner. We've got runners, not a single fucking blade. What is going on? This is bad. Now, Blade Runner. I know bro gonna underrate this. He knows it. He knows me now. Foo, 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 foo. Yeah, it didn't have a plot. It just didn't have a plot, man. Um, it just didn't have a plot, to be honest. I can see that it was pretty iconic for its time, but you know, it's got some really good monologue. The monologue is great. The whole ending, you know, tears are like rain, and they get flushed down the toilet. You know, the dialogues are great. That dialogue is really good. Um, it's like, you know, it doesn't have a plot, man. It doesn't have a plot, man. The second one was better. Blade Runner 2049 was better because, you know, I was the lead character in that movie, so that's why I like it more. I'm biased, but I was the lead character in Blade Runner 2049, so that's why I think it was a better movie. Now I'm not sure if it's 2047 or 2049. I might be fucking it up. I hope it's not 2049. I hope it's not 2047. Let me look it up. I hope I'm not wrong. It is 2049. Let's go. I was right. I almost committed a sneaky booby. I almost committed a Greek gladiator. But this one is literally a life-changing film. Broken and rated nice. Oh, you're being very generous. This is going into this is going into the fog category. Like it doesn't have a plot, man. It doesn't have a plot. Like Ridley Scott made the movie. He made the stuff, and he said, you know what? Next morning, tomorrow morning, I will wake up and I will write the plot. And he didn't wake up the next morning, so we didn't have a plot. He waked up in the afternoon. And we told him, hey, the plot. Like, fuck it. Just release the movie. Alright, next up is The Secret in Their Eyes, which is an Argentine movie. Which is and it's basically revolving around kind of a basically rape case, and they're trying to find who did that, and they're trying to find that out. It's a that's the story, and it's a decent movie, I think. Uh, I'm not gonna tell too much about it because obviously there's kind of a suspense stuff movie with plot twists and stuff. So I'm not gonna tell that. But all I'm gonna say is there's a scene in the movie where a guy whips out his penis, and which I was like most critical. I was like, hey, he whipped out his penis, which is true. That happens in the movie. I'm not joking. Uh, this is going into the. I mean, it's all right category.
I mean, it's alright, like.
Next up is Jurassic Park. That's right. Jurassic Park. Steven Spielberg. He made this movie in the same year he made Schindler's List, which is fucking crazy. It's like Barbie and Oppenheimer being made by the same director. You know, it's crazy. He made the same. It was pretty fucking crazy. Bro bossed that year. Jurassic Park. It's a movie about dinosaurs, and dinosaurs are cool. And it's a good movie. You know, it's an enjoyable one. You know, it's like a theme park ride. You know, well, like Martin Scorsese would say, it's like a theme park ride. It's not absolute cinema, but it's a theme park ride that we enjoy. It's funny because Jurassic is a theme park ride, so we're gonna put it in the nice category. Alright, next up is we've got the first Tamil movie so far, which is Maharaja. So I'm not gonna spoil this movie, alright? Okay. I'm not gonna spoil it. I'm not gonna spoil this. So it's about a guy whose trash can gets stolen, and he goes to the police to make a complaint of it. And they're like, "What the fuck? Why are you wasting our time with a trash can? Your trash can got stolen, so why the fuck should we care?" Someone broke in and stole his trash can. Now he might have some reasoning behind it, but you know, he's there. And it's a Tamil movie. As far as the plot twist goes, I won't say what it is. I'll just say that it's kind of done before as well by other movies. That's about it, I'll say. And as for Maharaja, I think it's going into the, I mean, it's alright category. Now Tamil movie fans, they fucking love their movies. That's why they highly rate their movies as well. One thing I dislike about not just Maharaja but overall Tamil movies, I wanted to watch this movie in Tamil because every movie that I've rated here or I've watched here, even the non-English ones, I watched in the original language, and I watched them with subtitles, English subtitles, because with dubbing, the emotions, you know, they lose the emotions in the dubbing. And I wanted to watch this one in Tamil as well because I wanted to hear the real emotions, and I didn't want to watch it in Hindi. And I started watching it in Tamil, and guess what? It's dubbed in Tamil as well. Like, I just think it's in the fucking original language. Why is it dubbed in the original language? And this is the same issue with RRR. This is the same issue with what other movie? Jai Bhim is something I also watched, which is also in the IMDb top 250. It's the same problem with a lot of Tamil movies that I'm not sure why. Like, why would you dub that in the original language? And I ended up watching it in Hindi because what the fuck was the point in watching it in original language? And I watched Korean movies. I don't find the problem. I watch Japanese movies. I don't have that problem. But Tamil movies is where I find that problem. Why? Because I looked it up. I looked at different theories to why this is. One theory was that they hire actresses who just look beautiful, but they can't talk for shit. And I mean, they're getting paid for it, so they should talk for shit. And another reason was that they don't have good sound mics and stuff, which is like they earn a lot of money, so they should get better mics. Like, it's 2025, man. Come on. Like, I mean, Sergio Leone movies, they used to have overdubbing, and they used to sound like overdubbings. But that's a 1960s movie, so I would allow that. This is a 2023 movie, a 2024 movie actually. I won't allow that. So, I mean, this whole ride is where it's going in. Fuck's sake, where does it disappear? Alright, let me fix up, guys. Hold on. Where did it fucking disappear? Oh, there it is. Alright. They could have put better Indian movies on this tier list rather than this Maharaja movie. It's the IMDb top 250 movies, and Indians really like South movies. They think they're making the best shit possible, and I don't find them any different than Bollywood movies. They're not making anything different. So yeah. Next up is Heat. That is a based movie. That is definitely a based movie. You know, the point at which Al Pacino gets so coked up and says "big ass." That is absolute cinema. That is absolute cinema. Shitbo, what's your opinion of Kanye West's tweets today? He's been tweeting for some time. Bro's fucked up. Bro's fucked up. So yeah, Heat. I mean, you've got Al Pacino, Robert De Niro in the same movie. You've got that brilliant scene, you know, in the same scene as well. They've got Al Pacino and Robert De Niro. That's a dinner scene which is top notch. Like, Heat is one of the best action movies out there, you know, hands down. Brilliant movie. Michael Mann does a great job at this. This is going into another Michael Mann movie you guys should check out is Manhunter. It's based on the Hannibal Lecter characters as well. Manhunter goes hard as well, so you should check that out. So Heat is going into absolute.
This is a certified hood classic.
Godfather Part 2 also, yes, but they're not in the same scenes. Because Al Pacino, when Robert De Niro is acting, Al Pacino is not born in the movies. What's it called? Canon events. And they are in the same movie as Irishman as well. But Heat is the best one that they're in. Next up is The Great Dictator. Finally, this I think so far the first Charlie Chaplin movie that we're rating. Wow. So far the first Charlie Chaplin movie in the list. Okay, Charlie Chaplin is a goat. Like, there's no denying the fact. Bro used to act, direct, write, compose music all by himself. Bro used to do everything in the movie. Now, The Great Dictator, it's not the best of his works, and you can see why he's making the movie, because, you know, there's a strong resemblance between him and Hitler. Although he does also say that if he knew about what Hitler had done, he wouldn't have made this movie. But The Great Dictator, it's a movie in which Chaplin is kind of like playing two characters. One of the guys is basically a Jewish guy who's have very strong resemblance to Hitler, and the other character he's playing is Will Hitler. I don't know what name he's going in this movie, but he's pretty similar to Hitler. And the ending monologue speech is pretty good. Uh, that was the main uh, that was the main thing of the movie. It's best in modern times though. But we're putting in this nice category. What is the best World War II movie? Depends on what type. It depends on what you're calling it. Like, do you mean the movies that were made in the time of World War II, or do you mean the movies that are based on World War II? Like, if it's at the time of World War II, then it would be difficult. Maybe Casablanca. No, no, not Casablanca. There was another for To Be or Not to Be was pretty good. Um, but World War II movie, Come and See is, in my opinion, is the best one. It goes hard. Come and See is so good. Like, you literally have to come and see. It's crazy. It's literally crazy. Next up is Rush, which is a movie I recently rewatched, and I bet Meme Man loves this movie. It's about two racist. It's about two racist people. One is James Hunt, and the other is Nicky Lauda. Now that is a weird name, Nicky Lauda. If I was called Nicky Lauda, I would have killed myself. But this guy, he doesn't kill himself, even though he gets the chance. He still survives and he still keeps racing. And have you watched Venom Let There Be Carnage? I haven't watched Venom Let There Be Carnage. Um, so this is one of the actually good sports movies that I actually like. I would put this one into nice category. This is one of the good ones. The nude scenes are pretty solid in this movie though. But yeah, the racism movie. Love the racism movies though. This is going into great huh? This is going to nice category. She Venom looked bad, not gonna lie. Next up is the Terminator. It's featuring Arnold Schwartz. I can't see the next part. I can't see the next part. We'll just call him Arnold, just to be sure. But yeah, it's Terminator. It's about a guy who comes on the Earth and who comes on a older Earth, and who's supposed to kill this guy who's a revolutionist between the AI and stuff. So I can't wait for ChatGPT to be a Terminator and kill one of us. That would be waste. And so in this one, yeah, Arnold is playing a villain, and I liked Judgment Day more than this one. The second one was, I think, it was better. This one was alright. This one was decent. It wasn't as good as Judgment Day though. I think Judgment Day was the best Terminator movie. I haven't watched Terminator 3, which is I want to watch that one too. I have watched 1 and 2. 2 is the best one. This one I'll put it in. I mean, it's alright.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
Next up is La Haine, another French movie, which I guess translates to The Hate, and it's basically about it's about a time in France where there's riots going on, and one young guy basically gets killed by the cops, one Algerian guy actually, and so which is a kind of a friend of the main protagonist. And one of the main protagonists is about three friends, and he's kind of pissed off. He wants to kill off. He wants to kill a cop. So it's a journey of the whole day of this guy basically wanted to kill a cop and going through this journey. And so yeah, it's a decent movie. I think the premise is interesting, but the movie gets a bit slow at some point. The first one of the first scenes in the movie, which is like he's saying to the mirror, "Are you talking to me?" He's saying in French, "You talking to me? You talking to me?" And he got the gun pointed in, which is a based scene. So yeah, it's going into. I mean, it's alright category.
I mean, it's alright. Like,
It's just about May '68. What happened on May '68? It's not about May '68 though. It's based in 1990s. It's a fictional event though. Next up is 1917. 1917. This is one of the movies that I've watched in cinema, and it was a pretty solid experience. Like you gotta say, I mean, the whole thing that it did, that it was kind of like a one shot type of a movie. That was pretty fucking amazing. Like that was pretty unique. I think there's a type of shit that is done a lot of times in cinema, especially with the war movie. You got so many extras and stuff. So this is a nice movie. This is a good movie. Uh, and yeah, we got Benedict Cumberbatch in this movie as well. It's about this guy who has to go into the German front to get a message near the German front somewhere to get a message that it's a trap or something. So yeah, it's a good movie. We'll put it in the nice category. Right, next up is The Incredibles. The Incredibles. Okay. So I watched other Pixar movies as well. In the course of watching a lot of movies, I rewatched this one recently as well, and it's not as good as other Pixar movies, to be honest. Like there's one scene specifically that makes it really exceptional. That had me going like, this is going in the I'm about to come category. There's a scene in which Elastigirl looks into the mirror, looks into her ass, and that was a great scene. Like I did not expect that, and my penis did not expect that, and out of nowhere I started screaming out. Like my pants were full of cum at this point because like it was overflowing. It was too much. I had to pause the movie to just figure out what is going on because I could not stop coming looking at Elastigirl's ass. So I had to stop at this point. I had to stop watching the movie, and yeah, eventually I recovered. I actually passed out from coming so much. I actually recovered, and then they continued the rest of the movie. So that was an experience. I don't know. I've never had that type of an experience while watching a movie. So it was crazy. It was crazy. But you know what would have made that movie much better? Like it's not that great of a movie, but you know what would have made it better? If in the end of the movie, okay, it's a post credit scene. Okay, the house gets destroyed and stuff, and they get the house all worked up, And then, Elastigirl says to Mr. Incredible that, hey, what do you think about it? And then Mr. Incredible says, well, this looks, well, gotta say, it looks pretty incredible. And then Elastigirl turns toward Mr. Incredible and says, say that again? And then, the title shows of The Incredibles. Like, that would have made the movie so much. They would have won every fucking Oscar out there. That is such a solid scene. That would have won every Oscars out there. But they didn't add the scene in. So, that makes the movie pretty weak. So I'm putting it in fart category. Yeah, Incredibles goes in there. Next up is Hacksaw Ridge. Alright, so Hacksaw Ridge. So it's a Mel Gibson movie, and we really like him because of Braveheart as well. And so it's about this Andrew Garfield guy. Andrew Garfield is playing the character, and he's basically playing the soldier who is a real life World War II soldier, who was a medical soldier, and he didn't raise any arms. He didn't have any gun. So without a gun, he was a medical doctor and wanted to save a lot of lives, and that's what he did. He saved a lot of lives. He saved like hundreds of lives in the day. So I mean, it's a decent movie. It's a decent movie. It's too war sentimental. It's making you go a bit like, yeah, wars. I mean, yeah, obviously there are many brave tales that need to be told about the wars as well. But yeah, if I had to rate between war movies and anti-war movies, I would go for anti-war movies. So yeah, it's going to go to the decent category. I mean, it's all right. We'll probably put it in a nice category. It's not that bad. Put it in a nice category though. Some of the scenes are pretty well done. However, they put in Vince Vaughn as Jenna, which was weird. Next up is The Silence of the Lambs. Now watch the movie. Not a single lamb in the whole movie. I was expecting some lambs in the movie, Not a single lamb. I was pretty frustrated about it. Like, what the fuck? Where are the lambs? There's not a lamb in the poster as well. There's a butterfly. They cannot tell the difference between a butterfly and a lamb, which is weird. Maybe the lambs were silent. That's why they weren't in the movie, and they weren't making silent movies anymore. But it is what it is. So, Silence of the Lambs. It's one of the top 10 movies, in my opinion. It's a great movie. The thread is pretty solid, and you've got Hannibal actor Anthony Hopkins, the Hannibal actor, which is one of his. It is probably the greatest role that he has done. He does such a great job on playing this cannibal, and they're trying to find this guy as well, who's also a fucked up individual. So yeah, Hannibal Lecter. The other movies that they made after Silence of the Lambs, the Hannibal series, were pretty ass. I saw the rest of the series as well. They were pretty ass. There was one where it was showing like the origins of Hannibal Lecter, like the origin story of him, which I don't know wanted that. It was pretty trash. Manhunter is a good movie though, which is like a prequel to Silence of the Lambs. So you guys should check that out as well. Silence of the Lambs, that is going into hood classic. Like I'll put it over here. That is a certified hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
Like this is very close to about to come category. This is on a very close level. Next up is The Thing. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. This is basically Among Us the movie. This is basically Among Us the movie. The whole plot is Among Us. Like this, I'm not even joking. This is actually Among Us the movie. Basically, it's about there are a bunch of scientists in somewhere Antarctica, and they're doing research up there or something, and they find a kind of alien spaceship. I guess, yeah, and they find a kind of alien spaceship, and they bring something out of there, which I don't know why the fuck they do, because they want to research on it. And one of the aliens gets alive, and he can change shapes. He's a shapeshifter. So one of these scientists in the research team is an imposter. So they have to find the imposter among us, and that's what The Thing is about. So here's the thing. It's a really good movie, to be honest. Like, all jokes aside, really good movie. I mean, the horror, the thriller in this movie is great. You don't know who the fuck is the imposter. It really gets you on the edge of the seats. I mean, it's one of the best horror movies out there. This is going definitely straight into hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
So here's the thing. Next up is Witness for the Prosecution. This is an old movie, pretty old movie though. It's basically about it's basically about a court trial in which a woman is testifying against her husband. So it's revolving around that. Obviously, it's again another of suspense, plot twist type of movie. So I won't tell a lot about it, and I would like to have you guys go blinded to this. But this is a nice movie. It's a good movie. We'll put it in the good category. Next up is another about to come level category movie, which is Finding Nemo. Brilliant movie. It's about finding Nemo. Do they find it? Well, they do find it because they have to. It's a kids movie. But Finding Nemo, Nemo is a fish. He disappears, and now his father has to find Nemo, and he gets to find it with his girl or something, and they're doing that. So yeah, it's a decent movie. I think for a Pixar, it's an alright movie. It's not the best, it's not the greatest, but it's alright. It's alright. We're putting it into, I mean, it's alright category.
I mean, it's alright. alright. Like,
What molester Stallone movies are good? I have only watched Rocky, so I guess that's it. Here thing, I haven't really watched a lot of Stallone movies. I've yet to watch Rambo and a bunch of his other movies. I haven't watched Expendables either. Next up is Gone Girl. Alright. This is, I guess, the first David Fincher movie in this category that we're putting. So Gone Girl is basically Ben Affleck, Ben Affleck's wife. One day just disappears, and nobody knows what's happened to her, and the people think that he killed him or something. He killed her or something. So it's about a journey of Ben Affleck trying to find his wife, and it's a pretty romantic movie. Very romantic movie. Like one of the best romantic movies out there. So we'll put it in the nice category. It's a good movie. You know, he eventually finds her, and so the plot twist is that he eventually finds her, and they're all happy and they have a good family life. And she was gotten by the kidnappers or something. Yeah, it's a good movie. We'll put it in nice category. Next up which is the last of today's stream. We'll end it with this one because it's already been like 2 hours. We'll continue with the rest of the series tomorrow, and this one is the first movie of the greatest trilogy of all time. There has been no better trilogy than this Lord of the Rings, and I will go more into detail when I get to Return of the King. But I'll start with Fellowship of the Ring. It's the beginning of the ring. It's the beginning of the whole story, the whole Rings story. And I'll just put it into the tier. This is a certified hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
But yeah, Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring is it's the beginning. Okay, so it's about the ring, the one ring that rules them all, and whoever human gets that becomes very greedy, becomes very controlling of that thing. If anyone wears it, so that has to be destroyed. So they send a small guy, Frodo, to destroy this ring. And they've got other people as well to help them. Gandalf is willing to help him, Aragorn is there, and a bunch of other people are there. The One Ring is real. The One Ring is real. And it's a brilliant movie. It's a brilliant movie. Of course, it keeps getting better with every movie in the series, and it's by far the greatest trilogy ever. Greatest trilogy in cinema. Like, for real. Gondor speak. For real, Gondor speak. He's not Gondor, but he is big. He is big. But yeah, this should smash us. This should smash us. I won't tell a lot about this movie. I'll get more into depth when I get to Return of the King, because Return of the King is the best one. It's the best one of the batch. But this one goes pretty hard as well. So yeah, putting it in the hood classic.
This is a certified hood classic.
So we're gonna stop it here for today. We'll continue tomorrow with put it up here with Wild Tales. We'll continue tomorrow with that. That's it for today. I'll give you a summary of the tier list so far. So at first we've got Morbius, in which we've got Morbius. In about to come category, we've got The Godfather Part 1, The Shining, and Gladiator. In Hood Classic, we have The Silence of the Lambs, Apocalypse Now, The Father, Amores Perros, Die Hard, How to Train Your Dragon, Psycho, Lion King, Django Unchained, The Matrix, Full Metal Jacket, Grave of the Fireflies, The Best Years of Our Lives, Empire Strikes Back, Spirited Away, Paths of Glory, Shutter Island, Princess Mononoke, My Neighbor Totoro, The Green Mile, The Departed, Doctor Strangelove, High and Low, Braveheart, No Country for Old Men, To Kill a Mockingbird, Joker, The Elephant Man, Inglourious Basterds, Oppenheimer, Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind, Spider-Man, and Across the Spider-Verse, The Third Man, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Batman Begins, Heat, Life is Beautiful, The Thing, and Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Next up is, after that, is a nice category, which is like an 8 out of 10, in which we've got Wall-E, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, Old Boy, Wages of Fear, Amelie, The Exorcist, Rear Window, Mad Max and the Fury Road, Citizen Kane, Howl's Moving Castle, Raging Bull, Jaws, Snatch, The Big Lebowski's, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels, Cinema Paradiso, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark, The Battle of Algiers, Fraud vs Ferrari, Avengers Endgame, Prisoners, Hamilton, It's a Wonderful Life, Ben-Hur, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Grapes of Wrath, $1 Million Baby, There Will Be Blood, Star Wars, Jurassic Park, The Great Dictator, Rush, 1917, Hacksaw Ridge, Witness for the Prosecution, and Gone Girl. Next up is It's Alright, 7 out of 10 movies. We've got American Beauty, The Apartment, Before Sunrise, V for Vendetta, Sherlock Jr., Vertigo, The Handmaiden, Rashomon, 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, Barry Lyndon, For a Few Dollars More, The Lives of Others, The Sixth Sense, the 2001 Space Odyssey, Warrior, Rocky, Dune Part 2, The Secret in Their Eyes, Maharaja, The Terminator, Haine, and Finding Nemo. In the fart category, we've got Some Like It Hot, Inside Out, Blade Runner, and The Incredibles. In the stinky poopy tier, we've got Hachi Your Dog's Tale and The Usual Suspects. And in the Get Out tier, we've got The Help, Once Upon a Time in America, and Gone with the Wind. That's it for today's stream. We'll be continuing on the rest of the movies tomorrow. But that's about it for today. See you next time. Bye bye.
Come a long way since the garage.
Gotta say, it's fantastic.
Say that again?
It's fantastic.
Yes, it is. Guys, I got it. Ready?
Yeah.